Hi there guys, my name's The Reaper, and in today's video I'm going to be taking a butchers at Supraball. So just for those who aren't aware, taking a butchers, if you haven't heard the phrase before, it's an English phrase basically meaning to kind of take a quick look at something or kind of quickly assess something for its value. So the idea of this series I do, it's a series of videos I do on these now, is to be kind of halfway between a first impressions series and a review series. So say for example, game just pops up on Steam, you think alright, it's caught my eye, looks interesting, but I want to know a bit more before I drop any money on it. Or say a friend sends you a message saying, oh, have you heard about this game, this has just come out, I think you'll like it, maybe we can play together, something like that. You think, alright, I'll give it a look, but you don't want to spend ages trawling through just random sort of let's play gameplay footage, and you think, I just want to know all the information I need to know. Hopefully these are the videos for you. So for example, you start watching the video, I show you kind of the game itself, the mechanics, how it works, how it plays, so you obviously have an understanding of what the game's about. Any other information you might need to know, so for example if there's a free-to-play model, there isn't one in this case. If it's in early access, in this case this game is in early access, Supraball, if I'm pronouncing that correctly by the way. This is the spelling, S-U-P-R-A-B-A-L-L, it's on the pitch there. Information such as performance and bugs that you might need to know that might affect your decision about playing the game. And just any information apart from the game itself, I think you might need to know about it, so for example what DLCs it's got, if it's too pay to win, anything you might need to know, so by the time you finish watching the video, you'll have been able to make your informed decision about whether or not you're going to drop any money to buy the game. So, with that out of the way, Supraball is a really interesting, in early access game. It's kind of slipped under the radar a bit. There's not a huge amount of people playing it. It just came up on Steam a few weeks ago. It's a really cool kind of team first-person football game that involves these kind of energy guns here that have a few different functions that manipulate the ball in certain ways. And other than that, it's kind of a variation on a kind of football game. So everyone's in first person. So what I've done here, I've just gone into the practice alone mode on a 5 versus 5 pitch. Just to kind of show you the basic mechanics of the gun and how that affects the way you can manipulate the ball. Just because the game is a very fast-paced one and it might be difficult explaining everything during an actual game because there's quite a lot to go through, and I didn't want to try and explain it during a game because it's a bit too confusing. So I'm going to explain all the basic mechanics here, just with me. Then I've got some pre-recorded 5 versus 5 gameplay footage which can show you the wider context of what's happening. So basically you've got a few different functions on your gun. So if you do a left click, that's going to be your standard force attacks. If I go up to the ball, if I left click if I'm near it, that's going to basically hit it directly away from where I'm pointing. So I'm pointing over there, it's going to knock it away from there. You can also adjust the angle slightly. So if I point down, it's going to hit it down. That's going to make it bounce a bit more off the floor. Or if it's in the air, you can hit it in the air as well. So if I show you that example, you can hit it through the air as well. You don't have to be touching it physically. It's actually left click attack if you're not holding the ball. So your middle mouse button is standard, you can rebind these. That's kind of your shield. That's going to stop you picking up the ball. Basically creates a solid wall in front of you. If I walk into the ball, that's normally going to let me pick it up. If I've got the shield up, that's going to stop me doing so. And also it's going to bounce the ball straight back. So if the ball, say, is flying through the air, if I've got my shield up, it's going to reflect straight off the front of the shield instead of me picking it up. Third thing, you've got this kind of suck motion here. If I do this, if I go up to the ball, normally I'd have to walk directly onto it or be hit directly by it to pick it up. If I use this right click attack, ball's going past me. Bad example, let's try that again. Ball's going just past me. Press it at the right time, it's going to allow me to pick it up without actually being in contact with it. Let's try that one more time, not doing a very good job there. So it's going to go past me, managed to pick it up using that attack. So that just lets you pick up the ball without being in direct contact with it. So if you're holding the ball, your mechanics are slightly different. So if I've got the ball here, you can see this glowy sort of circle energy around me. If you see the mini map in the bottom right, that also demonstrates I've got this sort of yellow circle around me, which shows I'm holding the ball, and you'll be able to tell through this sort of dome that surrounds you as you've got it. If I do a regular click, that's going to push the ball. However, if there's a friendly teammate, it can lock onto friendly teammates. It's going to create a little circle around their image. If I do a left click when I'm pointing at a friendly teammate, it's going to do a pass, and also allows to pass quite a long way. If I do a middle mouse button, as there's no other players around, it's going to do the same thing, but that's always going to fire directly straight. It's known as a quick shot. So instead of locking on and passing to someone, this is going to fire it always directly forward, regardless of what other players are in the way. So if I do a left click, if there's a player around, it's going to try and lock on and pass to them. If there's no one around, it's going to do a completely straight shot. So what I can do is, if there's a player and I want them to run on the ball, say they're running down the line here, I can fire it directly ahead of me, it won't lock on and they can kind of run onto it. Or if I've just picked the ball up, say the ball's just come through the air, I've just caught it, I can turn around and do kind of a quick shot, hopefully catch the keeper off guard as well. If you do your right click attack, you hold that down, that's going to charge it, and that's going to put loads of power on the ball as well. So that's basically your main firing attack. That's going to put loads of power on the ball. If you overcook it, if you hold it down for too long, that's just going to fizzle out. You've got to be careful about how hard you hit it. You can also, as well as fizzing it, if you hold the Q button, it's going to curve it as well. It's going to curve it in one direction. And again, if I hold E, that's going to curve it to the right. So you can curve the ball as well as doing a charge shot. If you haven't got the ball, your kind of suck and push attacks also have other effects on players. So if there's a friendly player and I hit them, if I go up behind a friendly teammate, hit them with that, that's going to give them a speed boost. If I hit an enemy player, you can use that to hit them out of the way, as well as hitting the ball. And if they're carrying the ball, and they've got the big sort of glowy thing around them, you can see the health bar in the bottom left. If they're carrying the ball as I'm doing now, say an enemy player's got the ball, if they're carrying it, if I go up to them and hit that, it's going to hit them, it's going to take a big chunk of their health, and it's going to completely distort their view, so it's going to mess up any of their passes, or it's going to mess up their shot. If they're charging up a shot, chances are it's going to make them fizzle it, which is useful for us. It's a good way of defending. If you take someone down to 0 health, they're going to be taken out completely. They're going to be out for about 5 seconds on the floor, can't do anything, and they're going to drop the ball immediately as well. Similarly, as well as being able to suck the ball in, you can also suck an enemy player towards you. It just sounds weird saying that. If there's an enemy player I want to keep close to me, if I'm defending maybe, someone tries to pass to them, I can either knock them out of the way or use that kind of just to keep pulling them towards me, just to annoy them. So you've got all those different mechanics of the game. Hopefully that explains it clearly enough, so when we go into another game, I'll be able to explain exactly, you'll be able to see exactly what's kind of going on with that. You can also knock the ball out of bounds, and it's going to reset on either team. So that basically shows you the basic mechanics of the game. What I'm now going to do is I'm going to switch to a 5v5 game, so you can see these basic mechanics in kind of a wider match context, and hopefully you have more idea of what's actually going on. So I'm going to have a brief cut now. Okay, so this is kind of the starting bit of a match. You get a really cool looking, actually, a kind of panoramic camera shot of the different parts of the pitch. You've got the blue team and the red team guys. And this is the moon level, which is one of my favourite levels. It looks really cool. You kind of sat on a curved moon there, which is really cool looking. Love the sky effect as well. And you get meteors flying around outside the pitch. A few different pitch types, they are quite nice looking. This is probably one of my favourites. Nice 5v5 level. So again, this is an incredibly fast-paced game. I'm going to try and explain things best I can. That's why I kind of did the separate little introduction just in the practice alone, just to show you how things work. It's a bit complicated. You see C here on our team, the blue guy at the front gets taken out by the enemy keeper. Normally he couldn't be taken out because he didn't have the ball, but because he was in the enemy's goalkeeping area, which is that small red area, or in our case a small blue area, he can be taken out with a melee attack in one shot, even if you don't have the ball. So it's very dangerous to hang very close to the enemy goal, because the keeper or any other player can take you out immediately with one hit. Mog got taken by 2 hits there. Whilst having the ball, managed to get up after a few seconds. See there with the suck attack trying to pick the ball up, unfortunately weren't quite close enough. So Pirate, one of the good players on their team. So you can see the sort of dome-shaped runner means he's got the ball, means he can be hit. See, you can see the sort of dome was slightly dark on that player there, which meant he could be taken out in one hit, didn't have much health. Didn't quite manage to pick up the ball. So you see Jaco here, I believe that's, apologies if I'm pronouncing his name incorrectly, he's doing kind of a trick shot thing, which is to stop you holding the ball for too long, bounce it using a charge shot off the back wall, and then try and reflect it in off the rebound just using a force attack. Quite a cool trick shot if you pull it off. Ball training hands quite a lot here. Didn't quite get in the corner there, so I push him away just to make sure our player can pick up the ball. Manages to get the pass to me. So you can see the yellow circle, that's locking onto certain players. So I managed to get a long pass off to Mog here. Trying to move into some space. Ready for a charge attack, and C got the quick shot just before he got taken out, which was a nice goal there. So good job by our team there. So you have to get back to your own half, and then the whole thing is going to reset. So see, I'm trying to use it just to sort of push him away, just to trying to stop the pass. Goes for the reflect. Again, he nailed it that time. Managed basically does a big charge shot, hits the back wall, jumps up, and then tries to click at the right time, the certain angle, just to reflect it immediately off the force. Gets loads of power onto it. Managed to get the pass to me. Can do a trick shot myself there. Charge up a shot, but then point it straight down, catch it immediately. Throws them off guard. Got the pass, and that was a good shot there by C again. Pick up another goal. It's now 2-1. So basically, what I did there, if it was too fast paced, I was charging a shot or looking like I was charging a right click shot. Jumped, looked down, fired it straight into the ground, back into me, so I'll catch it, and then a quick pass basically throws them off a bit. Another kind of common tactic. Jaco's really good at this sort of reflection malarkey, bounces it off. Fortunately for the blue team, didn't manage to get it. Got into some space, catch the ball. Tried to do it again, unfortunately messed up my angle and fired it off a bit early. See, somehow still caught the ball. Pirate saved. Plays the long ball. You can score straight from the goal if you want to, if people aren't paying too much attention. Managed to pick the ball up here. Rebound. Fire it off to sea without getting intercept. I think he fires it back. And got the reflection straight in the goal. That's what I was aiming for. So didn't catch it. If I caught it, I then have to charge a shot, which takes a bit longer. If he fires it, I managed to get the reflection straight off, get loads of power on the ball, and it's a lot harder to save. Just went straight for the shot there, but a bit too much curve on it. But C managed to pick it up and get it in again. I promise this wasn't one of my better games. This was just, I think maybe I was just a bit lucky today. So the match lengths vary a bit as well. This was a 10-minute match, I believe. So it takes 10 minutes minus if the ball goes out of bounds. If you're playing on an open top stadium, kind of doesn't count that. If the ball gets reset, it doesn't count that. And the intermittent period where kind of there's a goal like this, but everyone has to walk back. It kind of the timer, you can see the clock doesn't quite go down then. It's locked until everyone gets back. You saw the ball bounce off the ceiling of the arena there as well. Most arenas are actually open topped. This is one of the closed top ones. If you fire at the roof, if it goes over the side, normally it just goes out of bounds and resets to whatever team didn't knock it out. So if I knocked it out, it'll be on blue team. If I fired it out of bounds, red then get a goal kick, or vice versa. But this is one of the closed stadiums, so there's a slight variance in what happens to the ball. Didn't manage to pick the ball up there. Went for a kind of a heavy pass using the right click method. Didn't get it. C managed to take out the guy with the ball. Went into a bit of space. Got the pass. Unfortunately, I jumped over. He was trying to pass to me there. I was trying to go for the height. Didn't manage to get it. So as the game's just going on in the background, I'm going to talk a bit more about kind of the other aspects of the game, just because I think the mechanics I've explained enough and you can see them in the wider context of a 5v5 match. So what I'm going to talk about now is the other aspects and kind of my overall opinion on the game. So performance and bug wise, it's a thing I said I'd talk about. I haven't really encountered any performance issues. I can't speak for everyone, but at least on my PC, which is fairly beefy. I'll leave my PC specs in the video description if you're wondering. I haven't had any problems running the game. It's quite a small download. It's quite a basic game. In terms of coding and whatnot, should be most people I would have thought should be able to run this, despite the fact it's in early access. Mechanics seem to work good. I'm not aware of any major bugs. I certainly don't seem to have encountered any. I've played I think for about 10 hours according to Steam now, but the mechanics seem to work fairly well. I haven't really encountered any bugs or issues that are messing the game up. Seems to run pretty smoothly. I haven't had any widespread complaints or issues about performance and bugs. As I say, it's quite reminds me of Rocket League in that respect. It's quite a basic game. Basic mechanics, there's not a lot to go wrong, essentially. It seems to work pretty functionally, no performance or bugs that I've really come across, and that front seems to be good. Everyone, I should say for clarification as well, there's no way to kind of spec or upgrade your character. Everyone in every game is on a complete level playing field, so you can't get, say, upgrades to power, upgrades to speed, you don't get level systems. So basically everyone is on a level playing field in terms of mechanics. The one thing I would say, and it might be a bit harsh saying this, it's not a direct criticism of the game, but because everyone's on a level playing field, you will get, it's this type of game that if you're really skilled and really good at the game, you will be able to school a lot of lower level, kind of lower skilled players. You'll be able to you will occasionally get those games where you'll have, say, a 10-man game, one guy on one team will just be so much better than everyone else, will basically just run the game on their own. You'll have loads of trouble taking it out or saving his shots. You just have to bear in mind, it's one of those games where if you're really good at the game, you will be able to just kind of walk over lower skilled players. It's not really common, but you're going to have to, I just thought it's not, again, a direct criticism of the game, but I think it's something people need to bear in mind. Occasionally you are going to get games where if you're not amazing at the game, when you do run into someone who is just one of these naturally God-gifted players, will kind of just walk over kind of lower skilled player games just by chance if you have one in the game. So kind of minor, not direct criticism of the game, but as I say, you have to sort of bear in mind that may happen occasionally. On the flip side, as a positive, it is a game because everyone's got a level playing field where if you're skilled, you will be rewarded for doing so. There's not a whole lot of luck involved in this game, if any, arguably I can say. Your skill will be rewarded. If you are skilled, you are going to notice that. It's going to be noticeable in the game. There's not a whole lot of luck involved. If you're good at the game, that will reflect in the game. It's basically the only thing that's going to limit you is how good you are at the game, essentially. Other than that, the other things to mention is the UI for kind of the lobby system and joining matches. It's functional, but kind of very basic. If you're wanting, it's kind of a windowed mode that you can't really increase. It's very sort of basic, cheap looking. However, it is at least functional, and it is in early access. They might spruce it up and make it look a bit better as the game progresses. I think they've probably just decided to focus on the mechanics and stuff at the moment. but it is a bit basic, the UI. Not a major complaint, it just looks a little bit cheap, a little bit tacky, but it is functional, it does work. Everything seems to work as it should. You can join lobbies, pick your positions as normal, you can spectate. It seems to work functionally well. It's just the chat's a bit basic. You have to use a few command prompts to say surrender. But other than that, not a major criticism. I just thought, again, I think you should probably bring it up. Other than that, my final opinion on the game is it's quite a cheap price as well. It is in early access, but because it's such a basic game, there's not a lot that can go wrong. And performance seems to perform well, no major bugs, so I'd say I'm enjoying it. There's also a ranked mode, so I'm doing an unranked match here. If you do get really good and want to do kind of competitive side, you can join a team. There's a ranked mode as well, where you play a certain amount of ranked games. It's going to give you your rank, and then however many games you win, how well you do in those games, is going to increase and decrease your ranks. You get bronze, silver, gold and platinum. So you can form teams and have a more competitive edge to it if you want. If you want to just practice online or do normal online matches which are a bit more casual, you can do that as well. So they have split kind of the competitive and the regular side as well. If you join a lobby, it will say in the top right if you're doing a normal game or a ranked match. So you've got the competitive side as well, but you can avoid that if you want to. It's entirely up to you. Other than that, I'm really enjoying this game. I think it's good value. It seems to perform well. So if you like the look of the game, you think that you might enjoy the mechanics, and you're not bothered about getting schooled by really good players in those odd matches, I would suggest that you pick this up. So I'm just going to let the rest of the video play out. Thank you very much for watching. If you've got any more questions, please leave them below in the comments. Other than that, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.